Hey solos, I have a solo story for you today. I am so excited to bring back some solo stories, and I think it's the perfect way to start 2025. Hi everyone, it's Samantha. Olaf may not know who Samantha is, but now you do, and welcome to Disney Solo Magic, the #1 podcast for solo travel to Disney World. In the spring and summer, I did so many solo stories, and they were just really awesome. I've really appreciated hearing about everybody's trips and talking about them. It's just been so fantastic, but it's also hard to schedule and, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, I'm going to save up some solo stories and then package them together and post those episodes. And I thought the beginning of 2025 would be so great to talk about a trip to Disneyland Paris. That's this episode. It wasn't great. As well as 2 of the Asian parks. Actually, no, that's not true. 2 Asian places, but 3 parks, and that will be next week. This week, I'm talking to Natasha Williams. She's also known as Simply Stylin' Makes Magic, and she is a plus-size Black woman who is a content creator, and she just has the most amazing outfits, like stylin' magic outfits. She has such amazing outfits, and oh gosh, every time I see her posts on my feed, she just radiates so much joy and wonder. And when she was posting about going to Disneyland Paris for her 40th birthday, I was like, oh my gosh, Natasha, will you come on the podcast and talk about that? And I am so lucky because she said yes. Now, spoiler alert, Disneyland Paris was not a great experience for someone who is a plus-size Black woman from America. And so she talks a little bit about that, but also we talk about the magic of Disney World in Florida and Disneyland in California, and how how special those experiences are, especially when you compare it to experience that wasn't so positive. And so her sharing her story, her kind of not great story about Disneyland Paris, but then literally in the podcast, I was like, your whole aura changed as soon as we start talking about Disney World in Florida. As soon as we start talking about Disney World in Florida, it is so clear that this is such a magical place to go by yourself and be your most authentic, magical self. And that's really who Natasha is. So I'm just so excited that we got a chance to talk and that I get to share that conversation with you. Now, please, if you don't know Natasha, please make sure you follow her. And in the description below are all the links to her social media accounts, and you can see pictures of her trips to Paris, and you can see the reels that she made and the carousels and the YouTube videos and all that stuff, as well as follow me. Not quite as exciting comparison to her epic trip, but my social media accounts are down there as well. And please, again, it's so wonderful when you support content creators and the conversations by sharing these episodes and again following and subscribing and all that stuff. So let's just get into it, I think. All right, let's listen to our conversation with Natasha. Natasha, I'm so excited to talk with you today. Thank you so much for making time. I've followed your account for a while, and you always just radiate such joy and fashion and magic. And I know we talked about you coming on the podcast, but I'm so excited that you're here to talk about your epic 40th birthday trip and how you did that solo. So thank you so much for joining me. Do you want to introduce yourself?
I will. Hi, everybody. My name is Natasha Williams. I'm also known as Simply Styling That Makes Magic. And yeah, I am a Disney fashionista.
I love that. Disney fashionista. Some of the outfits that you come up with and the accessories and everything, I'm just I'm so envious.
Don't be. It don't be. So I find so many pieces and Disney style. I try to tell people Disney style and Disney bounding are 2 different things.
Yeah.
Disney bound, you take a, for example, you'll take an outfit, whatever the bound is. If it's a character, let's say Minnie, you get your color board. What are Minnie colors? Well, she had different outfits, but the signature Minnie is the polka dot, the white and polka dot, right? So you can find a polka dot skirt like Minnie, do a black top or a white top. It's like if you're using your color scale to be able to Disney bound, or you have Princess Jasmine. You'll take if her color is like a turquoise green, you'll find some gold earrings. You know how Jasmine has a pretty all her nice royalties with golds and stuff like that. That's how you bounding. I feel like me, I can bound sometimes, but me as being plus size, it's either for me the Disney style, and most of the shopping I do is from Torrid, and they offer a lot of different styles. That is Disney related. Well, I love tutus. My signature Who Natasha Simply Styling. Everybody know I love skirts. I'm known for the tutu queen, and I actually am working on something with that. So I'll take like a Disney top, I'll add a belt or I add a chain, and I'm gonna have a tutu, or I have the matching shoes or the lounge fly. So mine is more like Disney styling. Every seldom that I would do like an actual bound where I will color scheme, take whatever that character is wearing, and I will create my colors, and you bound and you create that Disney bound. That's the difference of Disney styling and Disney bound.
Yeah, I really like that distinction. I'm on a Disney Bound Facebook group as well, and a lot of people are like, "Am I doing it right? Am I not doing it right?" And I find what happens is people will just like go over in costumes so quickly with Disney bounding, but there is something about putting together a really stylish outfit that you like know is like grounded in Disney, but it is not like it's not in that like no
Character,
gray area about costume at all.
right, right.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I guess I'm also envious because you seem to go to the park fairly often to be able to like have all these outfits. So can you tell us a little bit about your Disney story and like your connection to Disney? Like I assume that you're Florida based, but have you always been Florida based?
I always been Florida based. We always went to Disney and Universal as kids. I try to tell people the kids version, or even going as a child or even as a teenager, the Disney adult version is totally, totally different.
Yeah.
And I'm working on a story. I'll just give you like a brief summary of um how it kind of led to me going as much as an adult. And it's crazy because my mom passed on October 27th. And that same night, a week before she passed, we were actually in the planning. She said, "I'm going to do a whole Disney trip." I'm like, "You want to go to Disney World?" I'm like, "Okay, we can go to Disney World." Like, okay, how we used to go as kids and stuff like that. And so she want to do the whole thing. She want to get a hotel and she want to do the whole shebang. I'm like, okay. So I was in the midst of looking for hotels. At the time, I am a licensed esthetician. I do makeup on the side as well. That was like in the midst of when my mom was still living, I was still caring for Brandon, but I had clients like during the week. So I was in the midst of doing a contract for a wedding party. So I remember her sitting to the table just like I'm sitting now, and she was telling me about this, and I'm at the same time trying to finish my contract, and I'm trying to online looking for like hotels where we can stay in the perimeter of Disney, but not like staying on property. And I booked the stuff, getting everything ready. I didn't purchase the tickets yet, but I had got the hotel like a two room stay where we can be able to have the room connecting. Try to get my brother there. He's fully disabled. My mom was disabled at the same time. So the next morning, that's where I found that she was unconscious. So she passed like 7 days later. I
Mm.
still had that dream of going to Disney with my brother, still doing what we thought that we were gonna have. I had like made the bumper sticker. It was just I don't know. It was just real, real crazy. And I ended up turning like my mourning and my love through my mom, and just using it as therapy to be able to go to Disney. So
Oh
it
my
just became
God.
it just became that. And yeah, it just became that.
I I love that story so much. I mean, obviously, I'm not obviously I don't love that your mom passed, and I'm very sorry about that. Um, and the idea, though, that this is like a way that you're funneling both like love and grief and taking care of yourself
Yeah.
is just, it's such a magical experience, right? Like Disney can be this like alchemy, like it can take all these different pieces and turn it into this like gold and magic. And um, yeah, that's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I was talking with Farah Roshan, who's an author, and she said that she would go with her sister. And then when they had planned this big trip, and then her sister passed away like right around Christmas. And she's like, now I want to go by myself because nobody like it's honoring the presence of my sister, even though she's not here anymore. Nobody does it like she does it. And there's a way to connect with her when I'm there. And that's a really nice story. So thank you for sharing. So how long then have you been doing this?
My mom passed in 2017. So my dad passed
Mm,
in 2014. And I was still going. I would still go to I wasn't going like a couple times a week. I would go when Disney has some kind of like special events. I would
right.
go. I wasn't like I don't think I was even an annual pass holder in 2014. I want to say I might have became a pass holder in 2015, an annual pass holder. Um, so I want to
Well,
say
for
probably
For Floridians, it's so inexpensive. You're so lucky.
yeah. So at that time, I think passes you probably get like the good package probably for like $700-800 back then,
Hmm.
2015. So yeah, I think I want to say I became an annual pass holder in 2015 because my dad passed in 14, and I remember I was going to like I remember I would always go see Boys. My mom took me to see Boys and Men. Oh my God, I want to say when that was my first ever concert, probably when I was like 9 years old.
At Epcot?
No, 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 just Boys
Oh,
and Men
okay,
period.
okay. Yeah, yeah.
And we saw them other times, but then when Boys and Men started coming to Epcot, I made it my mission because it was so crazy. Boys and Men will always come on the week of my mother's birthday, which is November 5th.
Yeah.
So I will always go celebrate like from that time since 2015 back to the present time, which they came early this year. I actually left to go to Paris on her birthday. And I will celebrate my mom's birthday around that time in November.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome. That's so fun.
yeah. So yeah.
So, okay, let's talk about your epic 40th birthday trip. You went on a solo trip to Disneyland Paris.
Mm.
Why did you choose this location? Can you just like give the outline of the trip, like how long you went for, where you stayed, and then we can maybe like get into some planning.
Okay. So I chose this. I wanted to go to Paris, period, before I even learned of like other parks, which I know there's what total 6 Disney parks throughout the world. I just wanted to do Paris, period. That was like my dream trip to go to Paris. Once I discovered that there's a Disneyland Paris, of course, we're gonna go to Disneyland Paris. So I always wanted to go to Paris. That was like my dream trip. I've been 8 years old. My mom used to dress me in like these little berets. Like I always have
Amazing.
back with Tia Tamera when it, like Tia Tamera sister used to come on. She had this blue or like a royal blue little beret, and she had little flowers on it. And my mom used to buy berets, and I used to have flowers on my berets. And I used to dress like Parisian styles, even like from like 8 up to like middle school, high school. I used to dress Parisian. I love
I
the
love it.
Paris styles. I just love it. So that was like my dream trip is just to go to Paris. So I stayed at the Disneyland Hotel. I was there for what 6 days? It was a 7 day trip. So yes, 5 days, 7 days, 5 nights, and I stayed on property. I had passes every day to go to the park, and then I did like a tour package within the package of what Disney sold me. I did Versailles, and I also did the Eiffel Tower. When I had originally had booked it, I had did like the Eiffel Tower only, and it was like lunch inside the Eiffel Tower. And I ended up, I said, you know what? I want to see the Hall of Mirrors. I have to change this itinerary. Once Brandon ended up getting sick, and I had to, cancel everything and then rebook for November. That's when I said, okay, I'm still seeing Eiffel Tower. I did the boat ride, and I got to go to most of my time in Versailles, and go to and do the Louvre just to haul just the Versailles Palace is what I was able to see.
I think there's something so lovely about going to Versailles, especially because like Paris proper by the Eiffel Tower can feel so like hectic that Versailles, even when it's full of people, you're just like, oh my God, it's so giant and beautiful here. So it's nice that you were able to add that too.
Yeah, and when I went there, where I saw pictures like prior when people go, and people was like, "Oh my God, there's nobody was there. Like it was people, but not from what I be even seeing in the magazines or seeing people are post. Even the Hall of Mirrors. If you, I can't even bring my picture up to even show you if I'm using this phone.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I had two people standing behind me in the Hall of Mirrors when it's crowded. So I went at a very good time. Everybody's back off vacation. Usually vacations like around what is it, August and September,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody was back working, but it was not busy when the week that I went. And thank God it started snowing last week, so I had just left in time because I'm a Floridian. I can't
Okay.
deal with this.
I was like, "Ooh, that would have been pretty," and then I was like, "Oh wait, no, you're from Florida. Nope, that is not."
It was cold there. I wasn't learning, and it's weird because it's cold here now. It's like it dropped to 40s last night,
Right.
like 49, 48, 50. Our cold is a different feel from there. Like I had maybe just my little thin black jacket. I never took out that. I had a big coat. I never used that big coat. It was like a thin a jacket I bought from Torrid, and it was like it was keeping me warm, but it was like I didn't. I was okay if I could have took it off. I could have just had my
Yeah.
regular and I've been okay. So, but the cold here is something different. I get lethargic cold. Like
Yeah.
it's
I
weird.
mean, you should come up and visit me in
Yeah,
Toronto this winter.
I'm good. I would love to come today, but not during the cold.
Fair, that's fair. So, what went into making your Disneyland Paris plan? And like, did you know it was going to be a solo trip? Was that like a highlight for you? Can you tell me a little bit about the planning?
The planning, I use a travel agent for the planning. I did a lot of research. I follow other plus size, like not solo like travel groups, but just more personally plus size because I'm a plus size solo traveler, and I think I follow one the solo divas or something. I think I follow one group that's plus size, but I'm usually traveling by myself. My brother, he's fully disabled. He do certain trips, but like flying, we haven't found the right way to get
Mm,
to different destinations. And the most of my friends that I do have, the two main ones, she's a teacher here, and the other one lives in New York. I'm usually by myself, and I love going to the parks by myself. I'm a people person. I'm very bubbly. I'm very outspoken, but I do enjoy my solo moments,
yeah,
and I don't. Maybe it's the timing that people can't go, or if it's financially, I don't bother anymore. I say once my dad passed and I learned how to travel solo, I just go.
yeah,
Like before my past, I was going like if I met you 10 years ago, I was going on a trip I've been traveling across the world like for almost 10 years now.
yeah,
And I just enjoy it. I just try to educate myself much as I possibly can. And then, like I say, a person of size, I try to make sure I do my homework like far as like if the restaurants can, handle the seating area, have anybody's had bad experience, even traveling on the airline. Like I fly
yeah.
class, first class or business class for the seats, and I still get stares because I'm personal size. And the world is too big. Anywhere you go, you're going to find somebody. Someone's going to spark a conversation with you. I can walk in a room and never open my mouth because my persona that I carry, not to toot my own horn, someone's going to be intrigued just by the way I look or why is she by herself. You just,
But you
you,
also have a very radiant energy, a very friendly, radiant energy. I mentioned I feel like we did bump into each other in April, and I
mhm.
was like, I feel like I remember your energy more than anything.
Okay. I've gotten that before. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just go with the flow. Planning is like, educating yourself as much as you can. And like I said, personal size, I just try to make sure I educate myself to make sure I'm comfortable. And it is a little scary because I feel like if I wasn't a plus size solo traveler, it'll be a whole different ball game.
Well, there would
The
be
solo,
other things there'd be other things that you would look into, right? But I think
oh
that's
God, honey, I will be probably jumping out of airplanes. I will be zip
well, that's
lining
not
like
what I meant. I just meant like other considerations. I didn't mean like other things that you would do, but that's good to know if I
oh,
ever
what
come
were
across.
you meaning? What were you meaning then?
I don't know. I just meant like I don't know, like other things that you would think about that you would want to plan for, but not necessarily like activities. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, it'll be other things I want to plan for. If it's in my, I guess I don't want to say my comfort zone. Um, you got to be more distinct. Give me an example. So you say plan.
Well, I mean, um, I'm like every example that I'm thinking of, you probably already like look those types of things up. But for example, when I went to New Orleans and it was there for a conference, and I did not know it was the first day of Mardi Gras. And it was a
Okay.
lot because I was there for an academic conference and it stressed me out so much. And I was like, I wish that I had looked up like very chill things for like a woman in her mid 40s to
Hmm.
do like a really cool, quiet bookshelf. Oh, wait, like, so I would be thinking about other things to like quell my anxiety. And like you obviously might have anxiety too as a plus size woman in the world. Like that has nothing to do with your size. But I'm thinking that maybe if you were researching that because that's how you like show up in the world, then maybe there'd be other things that you would look up as ways to like show up in the world.
Oh, definitely yes. Like if my size the way I'm at right now, that's like the first thing I look up to make sure that it is plus size friendly. That's the first thing. But if I was not a person of size, I'll be doing other things besides Disney. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean,
I will be.
I think it's so smart, especially going to Europe, right? Because Europe isn't known necessarily for anything related to like comfort or size, and they're already pretty snobby there.
Yeah, I definitely from the moment I got off the plane is definitely if you don't speak French, um, it's a problem.
Hmm.
You being a black woman,
Yeah, I was gonna
a,
say as a black woman too, but I'm yeah, hmm.
a plus size black woman, and being American,
Yeah,
you already have three negatives against you already.
yeah, yeah. You stand
So it
out.
it was when I say I stood out, they were when I they were at awe from the security check to I'm staying at the most lavish hotel on Disney property. And I felt like me personally, that was more of the issue that I had with the trip was Disney. It wasn't outside.
Oh, interesting.
So
Interesting. Can you say more about that?
yeah, so I wasn't even gonna tell my story yet because I'm trying to add my own bits and pieces for my YouTube channel. So I'll take some of this from it. But it was a real different experience. I was the only black person that I saw with my two eyes on Disneyland property
In
at the hotel.
including staff?
If there were staff, they were not in customer service that was in the kitchen or mopping.
Right.
They were not doing any
Yeah.
kind of clerical work.
Yeah.
They were doing, maid service or I don't think I even see any maids that was my about my race. And they might not been American. They were just black French or a different culture, but they were only the ones in the kitchen
Yeah.
or mopping the floor.
Right.
Um, there was an incident that happened. I had valuables taken from my room.
No.
Had valuables taken from my room. They gave me a report. They want me to go to the police station. I said, well, I don't know anything about this country. Even if you chose to drive me, do you think I'm going to get in the car with you and you take
Yeah.
me to the police station? Why would I want to lie about my valuables that I know that I bought and I just used it and I'm going to use it again and it's not there now?
Hmm.
Your staff cleaned the room. They closed the door when they cleaned the room. Anybody can. How you think somebody came in my room and took my things?
Yeah.
Your staff took my things.
Yeah.
So I'm still dealing with that through Disney. I don't know what the outcome gonna be. I guess that'll be another story, another date, another
Yeah,
time.
no, of course. But I think too that like there's something about going to Disney in Florida that is like for me it feels like this bubble of safety and predictability, right? And so it sounds like that was your expectation with the Disney part of it and maybe it's just not there in the same way.
You would not get the magic if you understand the magic coming to the other parks here in the States or even California, even Tokyo, which I plan on visiting next year. Um, there's no magic there, and
Yeah.
I just feel like that's just a French culture of who they are. I'm not, I don't know. I'm not French. I don't know. But anybody, even other opinions outside of my race that I saw two other American people from Disney World that I know were there say the same thing. And I even had two other people like me as well was experiencing the same thing. So I just know that I wasn't mentally going crazy, like a halluc. No, it was any of that. There's no to feel the magic. They are rude people. They're very rude. They're not apologetic. If they bump into you, it's your
Nope.
fault. You're supposed to move out the way for me.
Yeah, so I went to Euro Disney with my ex-husband like 15 years ago, and we
Mhm.
had gone to Disney World a couple times, um, like the couple years before, and we were like, what is happening here? Like, we could not believe it. We couldn't believe how rude both the cast members as well as the
What,
visitors
Disney
were.
World or Disneyland Paris?
Well, it was Euro Disney.
Okay, so Disneyland
Yeah,
Paris.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
We couldn't believe how rude people were. When we showed up, there was this guy that's like, I'll take your picture. So we're thinking it's like photo pass. So we're like posing, and then he opens up his trench coat, and he has a printer there, and he's like hustled us, and we were like, no, 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 no. Like, how could Disney allow you on this property? It was incredible. And so my sister and her husband live in Italy, and I really want her Italian husband to visit Disney World in Florida. And he's like, "Nah, American culture, blah, blah, blah." And then my sister's like, well, as a compromise, we could do like Disneyland Paris. And I was like, no, nope, that's not what I want to show him. What I want to show him is the magic of Walt Disney World.
Thank you. It's when I tell you, even going to California, now this is my third part, Europe and California. I love California more than I love Disney World. I'm just
Yeah.
giving honest opinion. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a Floridian and I've gone to Disney, California. I can't think of now how many times now. I think I went 3 times this year to California.
Oh, wow. I don't think I realized that from your account.
Oh yeah, I've gone I think 3 times. I went to D23, I went in July, and I think I went at the beginning of this year.
Nice.
That's a lot for one year because I just
Yeah.
experienced Disneyland for the first time. So it might have been my fourth time. I went last year, maybe once or twice last year. I can't remember. I know I went 3 times this year. And it's a different. I love California. I love it. Like to the point that it's an option to move there if I didn't
Yeah.
have rent. Yeah, it'll be definitely a place that I would go for bigger dreams, big opportunity, and the Disney magic definitely is in the California. But Europe, I would advise anybody if you're doing a European trip and you're into Disney, you don't need but one day. You
Yeah.
you only need one day to visit the park. It's not even with the aesthetics of Disneyland. I'm a very modern girl. Like how they show the castle is pink. It's more cottage theme. I'm not into cottage themed things. Like how have you watched the video, the aesthetics of the video on how Disneyland Paris showing you open the grand staircase with the chandelier and the so pretty room. The rooms are nice. It's more like it really is like if you was in a castle and it's more cottage theme type castle, not modern castle, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that by the scenery already made me upset because I'm like, I paid all this money for a cottage. If I don't go to the cottage, I go in the back of the woods. It was nice, don't get me wrong, but I'm a modern girl and I'm not into cottage type decor.
Yeah.
So that my view, my pic, it felt like it felt like Beauty and the Beast, like the old cottage book. If you going, it felt like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I like to read to a degree. I'm more like a magazine type, like really pretty modern type gal, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and outside was pretty, like it was a beautiful scene, but not it's not for me. Like if somebody asked me when you gonna visit, it wouldn't be today, it wouldn't be 5 years, it wouldn't be 10 years. It's not on my list. I
Yeah.
fulfilled, I did it. It's South of Park. If I go back to France, it'll definitely be like the South of France. I don't need to go run to Disneyland Paris, the first thing on my list.
Well, so my sister, like I said, she lives in Italy, but she lives the north of Italy and she works in the south of France. So if you are going to the south of France, you should let me know, and then my sister can give you some suggestions.
Yeah.
But also, I should just say too, like she lives in Italy, but she's also like, oh my God, the French are so rude. So yeah. Anyway, did you have a favorite part though of Disney Paris, even though it wasn't like the best experience?
I don't think I have a favorite part. No,
Oh, okay.
I will say for me, actually viewing outside of Disneyland Paris was like my favorite day. Me going to
Yeah.
like me having a little cozy brunch inside of the palace. Like it was a place called, I think it was called Victoria's or something like that. I went and I actually met a person from Italy. She was beautiful. I actually, treated her to lunch. She's like, oh, I don't have extra money for that. I'm like, it's no problem. You
Oh,
taking up
that's so kind.
to show love. I don't know where I may come back here. You can be at the same place. I may need your help. I don't know what it is, but it wasn't that much. So no problem. Come on, I'll treat you to lunch. So we
Yeah.
went, I treated her to lunch and we had a fabulous, I think she was in awe. And even if it was something of her dimension of saying that she didn't, I did my justice for today
Yeah.
and my heart was filled and I was happy. It seemed like she was very happy. Um, and yeah, we just talked and had a little good brunch.
I love
So
that.
that was like my favorite. If you want to say my favorite part of my trip, I know you stated what was your favorite part of Disneyland. Well, that was my favorite. I would say my second of the actual Disneyland, the hotel in the park, and I say this was happened. Belle, out of all the characters I actually met, I don't know if Belle was Americanized or she spoke French, but I dressed like her for it was a restaurant called, oh my God, Enchantment something in at the hotel. It was very nice. Like I say again, the only black woman there.
Yeah.
Both there twice. The only black woman there.
Yeah.
And the stares and looks I got, like,
That
why?
must have been so odd for you coming from Florida.
It was so odd. It was to the point that I felt so awkward.
Yeah.
Cut my trip short and go back home.
Wow. Gosh, I'm so sorry that was your experience.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
not a very, you then you get even down to the employees or the cast members you want to call them. Not like they was rude, like how they stared, like how they kind of like addressed me. It wasn't friendly like
Yeah.
here in America. They wasn't eager to help me, or you're not getting anything, like you're not getting any extra magic, or say,
Yeah.
you know how sometimes if you came to Disney World, they'll give you an incentive, like just to give to you because we are the
Right.
magic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
You're not getting that there. They
No.
You're not getting that whatsoever. You're
Yeah.
not getting the extra, even with the smile. I got more. The stairs are so horrible. You know how you
Mm.
kind of like glance at a person, you just walk on to mind your business.
Yeah.
It's not that there. They
Yeah.
stay. It's like you're gonna have a stare down.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a stairs like why are you here? If it's a stare, if like if they're amazed, if it's a stare, they stares is so it will make you feel like you're the most horrible person in the world on how they look at you.
Mm.
I don't like that.
No,
You
I
know,
mean,
and
you would, right?
right, and I dressed up according to Disney Bound or
Oh,
Disney
you
style.
look great. You look so great.
Oh, they don't do that there.
No.
The French do not do that there. They don't do Disney bounding.
Yeah.
So imagine me walking around a big, pretty pink tutu to match their hotel, the stairs and the points that I got.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gosh. Gosh,
yeah.
Natasha, that really sucks. I'm so sorry, especially because it was such a huge trip, like going overseas, and because it was a milestone birthday. Um, God, and like just to be like made to feel awkward about like showing up as your like authentic self and like who you are, that's terrible.
And then with them not being happy, I don't know if they're happy or not, but with their culture being like how they are, they mean, they're rude. Then the weather of the atmosphere will change your your persona of who you
Yeah,
are.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I'm a sunny girl, not because
You
Florida.
are a sunny girl.
I'm an earth sign.
Yeah,
So I gravitate to like the naturals, like just the sun. Like I'm bubbly. I can't turn that off.
yeah,
Even when I'm upset, it's a loud upset. Like
yeah,
I'm fire when I'm upset.
yeah,
So imagine having the opposite where I'm happy and bubbly, like who just popping bubbles everywhere. And you got the cold, nasty, gloomy weather. Then you got these mean French people walking around like they look miserable.
yeah.
You think that's gonna mess with my mental?
Totally.
It threw off my whole aura.
Yeah.
You shouldn't like yeah. If you don't recognize your body and what you like, I recognize my spirit, like the inner me, the outer me. I know when something is transpiring with my body. I understand my mental when something's feel off, and I know it wasn't me because you got to be really really aware of your surroundings and your aura. And my aura was off. It's because I was there.
Yeah.
Even me being bright as I am, it's like imagine your sun being up like this, and it's trying to like it's suppressing me.
Well,
That's what
and
I felt.
also it's like when that happens, when you go into a situation that is like an energy vampire, right? Then it's
Yeah,
harder for you to then show up and like ward that off as well, right? And so it's so easy to just like I don't want to say shrink, but like it's so easy to I'm like imagining that scene in Little Mermaid when like there's all those like little souls that Ursula has collected in bottles, right? Like you're now just this like
you
amorphous thing.
you this big.
Yeah.
If you want to ask a question, I was so scared, or if I want to say something wasn't right, I'm scared. I'm just accepting anything because how they are.
Yeah.
I was not accepted in their country.
Yeah.
So why would I ever visit a country that I'm not being accepted? I barely feel accepted being here in American.
Right. Right.
So why?
You're like, I figured out how to navigate that on the best of days.
So and it's sad. I don't want
Yeah.
to bring anything. It's hard being a Black African American woman, even in my culture,
Yeah.
and then another culture. And I think the last since
Plus
I got
being
back,
plus size in Europe.
yeah, like
Yeah.
since I got back off the trip, that's been like nerve wracking. This is a whole nother topic. Even when I went to another restaurant here on property here at Disney World, it's feel like I was so traumatized from Paris.
Oh God, I hate that
I,
so much
I
for
was really
you.
I was reliving the same thing in this particular restaurant that I went um on Friday without it being in Europe, but imagine being just the real people who show who their true colors really are.
Yeah.
And it's like it's crazy and it's like almost like traumatizing,
Yeah.
really.
Oh my God. I hate that so much, Natasha. I mean, thank you so much for like be willing to share those experiences with me and with the podcast because like it seems like it's still so fresh and you haven't been able to like fully shake it off yet. And gosh, I just hate that for you. Like when you were there and you were posting, all I could think of was like on my 40th birthday, I had COVID and I was on a cruise. Although I didn't know it was COVID, I just thought it was all these other things. And it was the worst way to start that decade. And I was like, I am so happy for you to start your 40s decade in this beautiful trip. And so now I'm like, oh no.
Yep, yep. So it
Well,
was it was definitely an experience.
let's end by like pumping up our proverbial Air Jordans of the soul, like the little 90s pump of some good solo experiences in Disney World since you go so much. Do you have some like standout moments or like favorite things you like to do solo or even tips for people or like all of the above?
If I can offer any suggestions for people that's traveling solo, I will always say do a character dining because
Mm.
the experience is amazing. Um,
Do you have a favorite character dining?
Topolino's. I think I'm gonna go down even Top oh God. Topolino's Terrace at the Riviera Hotel is my favorite.
Oh my God. First, I should just say, because again, it's a podcast, so people are just hearing and they don't see your face. Like, your face has already changed. Your aura has already changed. We should have just gone right to be like, what's your favorite character dining in Orlando?
Yeah, Topolino Terrace at the Riviera Hotel is the most for me. I brag on it. I was there for opening day.
Love
They
it.
treat me like if I'm one of their family members. If you just go say my name, Natasha, they're gonna know exactly who you're talking about. Because when I step on property, it's
Yeah.
just that. It's,
And you're like, and Euro Disney did not get the memo and F them.
yeah, they should have known that the queen.
They should have known.
They
How
should
did they
have
not
known.
know?
Yeah, they should have known. Like I'm coming to the place where you hold castles with most up high
Yeah.
stand. You did not know the queen was coming.
How rude. How
All
incredibly
rude.
rude.
But yeah,
All right. So Topolino's Terrace. Any other like fave restaurants?
the Topolino's is my favorite. I'm trying to say the favorite restaurant that I would like to go eat. And I have quite a lot of restaurants. And when I say favorite, my score has to be able to qualify with the service and the food.
100%. a hundred
That's
percent.
why that's why I can't always say favorite. Topolino's would be the top over all that I know of. That
Yeah.
I on Disney property, Topolino's Terrace, their breakfast. Because the experience, the service is superb. I've never had an issue. Even if it was like one of the down days where I didn't get the same kind of energy, it's still my top because I know what they're capable of.
You
If
know,
that makes
so I've been there once for breakfast and I had steak and eggs and it was really salty. I sent my steak back 3 times, which makes it sound like I'm very fancy. But no, they kept coming up to me and they're like, "Is this better?" And I'm like, "It's fine." And they're like, "Are you sure?" Because I don't think you're telling the truth. And I
yeah.
was like, "Well, it is salty." And like they were so keen to take care. And I wasn't complaining so much as they were like, "It doesn't seem like you're happy. Like, let's make you happy."
And
Yeah.
that's what the magic is about.
Yes,
I
100% Euro Disney.
Yeah, they don't. If you
No,
don't
they
like,
don't care.
why are you here?
Yeah, then why are you here? It's totally like, why are you here? 100%. I
Why are
mean,
you?
traveling anywhere in France is a lot like, why are you here?
Yeah, yeah.
I
Just
speak English. Okay, well, I was just trying to
once
speak
they
French for
found out
you.
you French, their whole attitude is gonna change. You finna get the grit of the grits. Yeah, but I would say a Topolino's Terrace because I'm basing it off the experience and I'm basing it off the food. It's other places I can't think off the top of my head that I actually enjoy like to go, but Topolino's Terrace like the first place I would go if I want a quality meal. Without the character experience, I like to go to the Grand. If you want to say hotels, the Grand Floridian is my place to be.
Have you stayed there?
I haven't. I the reason why I say I haven't because Brendan has to go everywhere and to set everything up, hire a third party company is too much. If I was just doing my
Yeah,
own,
yeah, yeah.
I'll be there often as I like to. Yeah.
I've never stayed at a deluxe resort, especially with the Canadian like exchange. Like I can't financially um like argue for staying at a deluxe resort when I love the moderate so much.
hmm
So, yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, if Brendan wasn't going with me, I would stay on property as much as I like. But having someone to stay back home and watch him and
No, of course,
do
of
all the
course.
coaching, with me only living like an hour and 15 minutes away, I can't justify. Not financially, I can afford it, but I'm not gonna waste money when I'm only an hour and 15 minutes away.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Why am I staying on property?
Although I feel like for your 40th birthday, that actually would have been a much better way to
Well,
spend that money.
if I would have known, I would have went to California for 2 weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
The money I spent, I probably could have flew to Tokyo. Like I said, I wanted to get Paris out the way because that was Paris. Like I said, I'm not looking at Disney. They cut the Disneyland part out. I want to
To go to
experience Paris.
Paris, yeah.
That's something I was wanting to do since I've been 8 years old. So I was able
Yeah.
to fit those two things in one. I got it out the way. It's something that I don't have to ever experience again because even though it was a bad experience, it may be a good experience next time. I
Right.
don't have to. I know that it's better without Disneyland included in that. I know I was treated good when I was not at Disneyland. It's the moment I was on properties where I found the most worst experience. Was at Disneyland.
Crazy.
Like the South of Paris, it wasn't like Eiffel Tower or the dinner. I've met people who was just traveling and treated me nice, or just even the French, they just treated me a little different. It was just more of like Disneyland Paris itself, and the people who they hire they're all French.
They're all French.
It,
Do you have any tips for people who are going to Disney World or even Disneyland in California solo and are hesitant about it?
okay, what kind of tips you want to narrow down what kind of tips they're looking
I
for? Like,
don't know, any kind of tips, like, there's so many people that are like, they're kind of hesitant. Oh, I'm an adult and I'm doing this. Or, like, for example, you said that you started going as a way to like connect with your mother who has passed, but like, what if somebody was thinking, oh, I think that might be too emotional to do, and being there by myself, I'd just be like on vacation and a complete wreck. So, like, do you have any, this podcast is called Solo Magic. So, do you have any tips of ways to kind of, conjure some solo magic if people are on the fence about going by themselves?
oh, make sure that you got the Disneyland app or the Disneyland World app. That's gonna be your first go to be able to navigate what you want to do.
Mm.
Plan, look at other TikTokers, look at other things, look at the experiences. Know what you want to do before you get there. Okay.
Ooh, good one.
Oh, you have to know what you want to do, what you want to experience. Okay. Do you enjoy my favorite thing to do that you want to ask me for? I will say that. I guess I will say this now, and I'll repeat it. If you ask me what is my most fun thing that I love to do at Disney World or Disneyland, I love character interactions.
Mm.
If you say, well, why you don't like to rise, or why you don't, I enjoy everything. But if you had to ask me what's my favorite thing that I love to do, you ask for restaurants. I love meet and greets and character interactions. I know that someone's in that costume. I understand that. I know it's an experience.
Yeah.
I know. I understand that. I understand that. That's
No, I get it. You're like,
no.
I get it. I get it. There's like a college kid in there, but also I need that hug from Mickey Mouse.
Right. So I get it. But it's I would say character interactions is my top favorite. I love to interact with them. And people probably get crazy. Why is she talking so long? Why are you having a 15-minute conversation? Because that person may need that love inside.
Mm.
Mickey may need it. Mickey, they might have had someone prior to me come through that line, and they might have been not so nice to Mickey or Minnie or Ariel or Tiana. I don't know. So my favorite moment is to not, I am the magic. I am the magic.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm bringing the magic. You bring your magic. We have one burst of freaking pixie dust going on here. Okay.
Totally.
Yeah. So I would tell that person, if you're doing a solo trip, educate yourself much as possible. Download the My Disney Experience app for California or Disneyland. Know what you want to do before you get there. Make sure if you want to try restaurants, just social media is open everywhere. If you seen something that you thought, put little pins by it. Save your videos. That's the key thing. Say, oh, I saw that food. I want to try it when I get to the park. Put a pin by it. You got an Apple phone, put your notes. I
Yeah.
had all the notes in my content that I wanted to do because I did not know the experience was gonna be like that. I had like 20 things of content that I supposed to have done while I was in Paris. I didn't even get to do because if you was imagining them staring at me, how you thought I would have felt of me
Starting to record. Yeah.
and doing
Oh my
content.
gosh.
So
Oh.
I didn't even eat outside. Like you walk around in Florida about to eat popcorn and munching on a turkey leg. Can you imagine me plus size walking down the street eating a turkey leg?
Yeah. Not in France.
I was getting stares holding the thing everybody the most famous known for, the champagne float. I was getting stares holding that. So can you imagine if I would have ate and I bought one
Oh,
sandwich of it. I had turned my back in the corner. I ate it when I got back to my room.
Oh my God. That I hate that for you.
So can you imagine? You can't even imagine if I wanted to go and
Make
have a bite.
contact. No.
In Mickey bars in Florida, like I got my first Mickey bar. I wouldn't dare to buy a bag of chips or a Mickey bar, and I'm in I'm in Paris.
And then you just like turn around and everyone's like, oh, what? Kiss up?
I she does she even need that?
Oh.
No. So yeah, I would say do your research, know what you want to do as a
Although I do love these tips, just so you know, I do love that these tips are also very Virgo tips. Like, get your notes up, do your saving, have a method, have this categorization, pin things, color code them,
yeah.
alphabetize.
The key element also, don't go in thinking with your expectation up here. And the reason why I say that, I'm not talking about the magic of Disney. Disney is 24 hours in a day. Disney's not open for 24 hours in a day. Anything can go left with the wait times. So I try to tell people, even though you're planning, you can plan whatever you want to do. It's not going to always work out the way you want it. So don't put your bar here. Even though you
Yeah.
watch videos, you saw a person do that, you may not get that experience. You may not get to do that at that time on that day. So don't go in with bar your things that you want to experience. So here, map, as I try to tell you, you're planning, map out the most important thing that you want to achieve or you want to do when you get to the park. So if you know that you love Mickey, that's your main goal. If you don't do nothing else while you at the park, your main goal was to see Mickey and have a conversation with him. Make sure that's your first thing. Get it out the way. You experienced it. That's gonna fulfill. Oh my God, I got to see Mickey, or whatever you want to make. You want to make sure you set that time for that specific thing that you wanted to do and get that experience. So when I go to the park, like I say, I want to plan. Today's Monday. So if I say I want to go to Disney this week, it's something I saw earlier. I said, okay, I want to experience that. My main goal is to go experience that. Because sometimes you be filled by so much stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do everything. The main thing what you want to do, get it out the way. You have to be able to like itemize or prioritize your time because Disney time is not your time, baby. I'm telling
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I
you.
know. And it was like, it's like, do you really need to save an hour and a half to get to a dining reservation at a resort? It's like, yeah, that's what you're doing.
Make sure that you have your dining reservations. If you're booking through Disney or if you got that 30-day window or 60-day window, book your stuff. My key elements on booking reservations. Sometimes if I'm up, changing branding or doing whatever I'm doing, I'm on the app like 10 times a day, just
Yeah.
sporadically looking for things that I want to try. I know it's not open. Who's on the app a random time at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Well, I am. Well, apparently it's just the Virgos.
When they're sleeping, I'm thinking about, oh, anybody
Yeah,
sleeping? Let
I
me go.
know.
Let me go.
No, apparently you and I are trying to get this reservation.
The most time people's on the app is first thing in the mornings from 5 to 6, or when they're getting up the next morning. No one's on, and everybody's going to bed. When you at Disney World and you're trying to book a reservation, people are asleep at 12 and 1 o'clock in the morning. It's nobody up on the app at 3 o'clock in the morning trying to get a reservation. But guess what? You and I are.
Yeah, yeah, totally,
You
totally.
at work from 9 to 5. You think if somebody's randomly on the app at 11:15? No,
Yes, I am.
I am. We are,
Natasha and
because
I
that's
are.
what our minds think a lot. We think outside the box.
Yeah, that's right.
The rest of people are in the box. We're not inside that box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that I say on the podcast a lot, and this picks up on what you just said, is like, if you're going to Disney solo in particular, and you're there for like maybe some like healing stuff, know that just being in the atmosphere is already so healing. And so to like, don't try to hold on to everything so tightly, because then that's just going to be anxious and it's going to make all that magic kind of disappear. Like you just need to be in it and you just need to like feel the magic and have space for the magic. And I love that you said like prioritize, just like identify the main thing and then have a couple other priorities because you want that sense of like magic and freedom and a sense of relaxation, even though it is so hectic there.
Yeah. So if you get there, like, what if that ride you was wanting to experience is broke down?
Right. Right.
And oh my God, the writers broke down. That's the main thing that I wanted to do. Okay, we're gonna try again tomorrow. What is the next thing that you wanted to experience?
Yeah.
What is the next thing that you want to experience?
Yeah.
If you want to try a nice dining, if you want to try this certain kind of food that you wanna write and tell other people about, oh my God, I tried this cookie. This is the best cookie I ever had at Disney World. You guys got to come and try that cookie. Prioritize your time is making sure you find out, everybody want to experience the Disney magic, but you have to know exactly what you want to experience. Remember, you bring the magic. Don't
Yeah.
go with it is
Love
so
that.
flawed house, because you are going to get the Disney magic, but you still have to do your part too. You can't go
Yeah.
get all this money for Disney World. You already going with the negative attitude.
Yeah.
We pay a lot for everything. We pay a lot for bills, but guess what? If we don't pay them, do you think we're going to have lights?
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Like, remember, you are also bringing the magic. Like, remember, to just extend upon that. Like, remember that you're going to be reminded of your magic too.
Period.
Yeah. Well, I
That.
think that's a great way to end. Natasha, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing a trip that was difficult for you. But thank you so much for connecting and like sharing this kind of magical part. It's been really interesting just in this conversation to see the up and downness of like your aura, your energy, like you said. And I'm really sorry that's how you started your 40th or your fourth decade. But I'm sure Topolino's when you go there the next time will remind you of a different version of the French Riviera, a different version of France that you're like, yes, this is my version, the Disney actual version.
Exactly. I'll be there Thursday if God's willing.
That's amazing. Can you please remind people how they can get in touch with you? And of course, all the links to all of your stuff will be in the link, will be in the description of this podcast.
Yes, your girl here, guys. Simply Styling Makes Magic on Instagram, and it's Simply Styling by Tasha on TikTok, and just Natasha Williams on YouTube channel. The full story of Disneyland Paris is coming soon. I don't have an exact date, but you can find by Natasha Williams, but also known as Simply Styling Makes Magic. Remember, you are the magic.
I love it. I love it. I love it so much. Natasha, thank you again. I can't wait to see you in the park. So until that might happen, we'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Hey Solos, it's Samantha. I hope you liked this episode and all the episodes of Disney Solo Magic, the number one and I think only podcast for solo travel to Disney World. Help me make this podcast even bigger. Please make sure you rate, review, subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and on YouTube. You can do all three. That's really great. It's also really, really great to connect with you, and you can connect with me on Instagram, Facebook, and Threads. Instagram is the best way to get in touch with me. And if you want to support the podcast even more, and keep it ad-free, you can buy me a coffee. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/Disney_solo_magic. And for the low price of $3 American, which is about $5 Canadian, and it's hard to even find a coffee at that price these days, you can support me and the podcast and help keep me caffeinated for a week ahead of content creation and editing. Thank you all so much for listening. It is just wonderful to build this community, and I can't wait to create more content for you. Bye.